morning, everybody. It's Cowboy here. Sorry for the late start. Just having some technical issues getting all the machinery to talk to each other and so on and so forth. It can be a little bit tricky doing that. So here we are looking at Bitcoin. And if you look at this arrow, it says, on the thumbnail as well. I'm going to delete that. And you're going to see that the algo is now calling. And it's kind of hard to see. Let me go ahead and hide this one here. So this green tab that you see right there on the screen, this is on the daily chart. It's a pretty high time frame. Now, this candle is not done. There are 10 hours and 20 minutes left in this daily candle. However, that's a go. That is a move up. That is a let's get it on. That is a go long. Now, if you look at what I drew going back to Sunday when I did the report, this is literally doing what I said it would do. And it's just coming up to that first target at about 108,000. And I think it's going to go ahead and cross that today because it's been doing nothing but going up for the past few days, right? So beautiful algo call. Again, this is not a complete call until the candle closes. We have, again, 10 hours. So if this is still there after that, there's a pretty strong probability it is not going anywhere. And that's a great time for me to say, okay, this is going to continue upwards. But everything else that I'm seeing in the algos on the screen here, just based on the data on the bottom, it's all bullish, man. It's all just bullish. So I don't know that we're going to see a pullback below 90,000. Again, of course, anything can happen. Usually you get, people getting shaken out. But if you go back and you look at history at, say, 2020, you might see here that you get a similar look, right? So let's see, we're on the 17th. So this is December 17th of 2020 right here. This is the same day 4 years ago. And as most of us know, you might be kind of new to Bitcoin, so you might not know this, but this is a 4-year cycle. Okay. This is a 4-year cycle. This happens every 4 years. Now, it doesn't always happen the same way. There are individual aspects of each of these cycles, right? So understand that. But understand that there's a really good chance, sure, there might be a slight pullback. You just had this move up literally at the same time in the same date last cycle. And as it pulled back, it only pulled back about 10%, right? So 10 or 11%. So if we get a pullback, if price goes to 108,000, a 10% pullback is going to be about $11,000. So that would pull back to about 100,000. And that would make a fair amount of sense. But if you looked at this structurally, right? Structurally, and did a comparison, the pullback wouldn't be that far. Pullback might, actually, it would make sense, right? So first of all, if price climbed up here and pulled back 10%, that would take price down to about 100,098. It would make a lot of sense to grab some liquidity, right? Because this is what price generally does with charts. Price generally goes up. Let's fix this. Let's make this a little more easy to see. Give me just a moment. Okay, we'll start over. So price will head up and then it'll create some structure, right? And then it'll head up again. And it tends to come back down and grab liquidity at that prior structure. That tends to happen with price. So if I were to diagram what's gone on with Bitcoin, and we'll use a different Bitcoin chart without all my markings on it. Well, we're seeing that now. We're seeing price head up, and then it creates a bit of structure, fair amount of structure being created. This is a little bit of a higher high, lower, low scenario, so we could see price come back down and grab structure right here, which is at 104,000, or it could head all the way back down to this 99 or 100,000 mark. It could do that. This funky candle that created this high at 104,000, that was a bit of a market maker shakeout. At least that's what that looks like to me. Those candles usually mark the price is going to go up. So a pullback could be anywhere from 104,000 to about 100,000, and a pullback might not even happen, but that would make a lot of sense to head down to 100 because that would be a 10% pullback, and that is very healthy and normal in this market. So, what happens though? Is it really going to pull back? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. We're going to find out as time goes on. As it stands right now, if I was just to take a look at the data, take a look at the algos, I would say probably, well, let's just say if there's a pullback, it'll probably be pretty quick because that's just looking really bullish. Now, Solana, on the other hand, is doing kind of what's expected. Solana is hanging back, waiting for Bitcoin to, make its decision, right? And that could take a while. That could take some time because Bitcoin's going to want to make whatever move it makes. Now, what did I think Solana was going to do? Well, it's kind of doing what I said. Maybe it didn't, maybe it went down a little further than I thought, but I thought that it would kind of grab a little liquidity down in this area, which it did. It grabbed a little bit deeper though. It went a little deeper than I thought, but now it's heading up here. You got this, let's go to the 3-hour chart here. You've got this move up. That's just happening a little bit later than I thought, right? So there's your move up. So I'm going to undo that because I don't want to come back and say, hey, I predicted this, right? That's not what I want to do. What I will do is mark this magenta. That's an old prediction so we can track what I've done and not pretend like I've done something great. And let's go ahead and take a look here. Now the charts are overall pretty bullish. I'm looking at some sideways action right now though. I like I keep talking about, I think Solana is really going to go sideways until Bitcoin does its thing. And it seems as if Solana wants to form a range in this general area. So it's I would not be surprised to see a range like this. Now it could be broader than that. It's had a 618 pullback since the major move up, and this is on the daily chart. So Solana, I think, is going to bounce between maybe the low 200s to the mid 200s and just do that until Bitcoin goes ahead and makes a decision. That's what I think will happen. So now we are about 10 minutes in. So again, I do apologize for the late start, just technical difficulties. I've got a brand new system, and anytime you use a brand new system, you're just going to have a major issue. There's a big pain in the ass. It's just issue after issue, trying to get it to look right and so on and so forth. But we've got it. We're going to move over to the private live lab. Come on over to algofactory.tech. Check us out. We teach people how to make these predictions that you see. We work in crypto. We work in Forex. I do a lot of Forex trading. I do predict a lot of indices, so like SP 500 and the Dow and NASDAQ and precious metals and whatever. I mean, I'll chart anything. And a lot of people say, hey, what is your algo saying about this? Well, for example, what did my algo say about Solana on November the 5th? It said buy, right? So just taking an example right off the screen, pretty exciting stuff here. You see that green tab there. Algo said buy, and a good choice that was because price at that time was $150, and now you're sitting up at 220, and it peaked out at 260, which is, I think, right below or right above its all-time high. So, people will say, hey, what's your algo say? And I should just put a chart up for them. Not a problem. Do it all the time. I can't, unfortunately, sell or rent this algo out. And that is unfortunate, but what we teach you at Algo Factory is how to build your own algos that will have your own personality imbued upon said algo. So this is good stuff. So let's just take a quick look. I don't see any comments. I didn't put the link out this morning, so we don't have a ton of people watching as we usually do. Again, I didn't have time to put the link out. I was trying to get this whole setup fixed. So again, once more, apologies for the late start. We're going to drop off here. So algofactory.tech, come on over, learn how to trade like a hedge fund pro, and never forget,
join us or die.